Chiefs. After a gain of 9, Pacheco will power his way and get pushed for the first down across the 40.
Right in the mouth.
First down, Mahomes. He'll swing it out. Pacheco's got some space. Quay Walker hand on him. Walker and Corey Ballantyne, the corner, knock him down. Edwards-Helaire is the back in there, and Clyde takes it, and he'll get the first down, and he'll keep the pile moving to the 46-yard line against the Green Bay defense. Noah Gray, the other tight end, is in as well. It's 2nd and 20. Mahomes getting flushed, being chased by Preston Smith, and he gets a whole bunch of it back. 3rd and 11. Deep drop by Mahomes, who pumps, looks, hit as he throws in the middle. It's caught by the former Packer, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who's got the first down at the 31-yard line. Right now for the Chiefs, replacing Donovan Smith as Pacheco runs to the left. Got away from a tackle. Pacheco on the run inside the 10. 1st and goal, Kansas City. Isaiah Pacheco, a big run at 27. In 8 games in there, and left tackle protecting Mahomes. He gives to Pacheco, runs left to the 10. After the Pacheco gain of 1, to Isaiah through the air. Open field, hard to bring down. And Jonathan Owens does it. 3rd and 4 for Kansas City. Mahomes, first down. Sky Moore in traffic. They'll mark him right past the 35, and they'll move the chains for KC.
Don't be surprised if Jordan Love takes off with this one. He needs 5 yards back in the worst way.
Inside, they try to run for it with Robinson and Cochran and Reed. Make sure he doesn't get there. Trent McDuffie was down as well.
In the first half, what do you want to see from him in the second?
Just continue with what he's been doing. I think we've been protecting him pretty well up front, and he's got great poise, and that's...
Donovan Smith out again. He's questionable to return with a neck injury. Wanye Morris is the left tackle on 3rd and 18. Mahomes is escaping and throws on the run, complete to Kelsey to the 35. And how about that little dance, almost hang time. 27 for that magical duo there. Pacheco back in, slamming it left into Quay Walker, through Quay Walker. Inagbari brings him down, but a gain of 11. What a powerful runner. After Flowers, the line judge, was on it. The Chiefs go quick, and Pacheco in the end zone, but a penalty marker down. We got a couple of them as players were running on and off. The officials will confer for a minute. For the moment, it's a Pacheco touchdown. Pacheco goes to attempt a Lambeau leap and fails.
2 fouls, both by the defense. Illegal substitution, 12 players. Offside defense. Those penalties are declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Lollipop things, we didn't have enough.
And with all the confusion, Pacheco, good job by Dobbs to hold on his longest reception of the year. From the 11, Dillon. Head to the backfield by Jack Cochran, filling in for Drew Tranquil. It's the start at Arrowhead in 2021 when Rodgers couldn't go because of COVID. Richie James, the return for the Chiefs, got the edge, and James is taken out of bounds. Pacheco, they lead the way again. He goes over 100 yards and continues to push the pile. He's a one-man brotherly shove all the way down to the 1. Pacheco, who's running it all the way down here, is out again. Mahomes on 3rd and goal. Inside for the touchdown to Noah Gray.
Right back, and just too many people to try and pay attention to on the field. Where they're blitzing. This is what they do all the time.
Reed in motion. Love in trouble. And they get to him. Sacked back at the 22-yard line. They got there with 4, and it was Mike Dana. Patrick Taylor's the back. Stays in to protect. Love is going to throw. No, he's just going to go down at the 30. And from there, it's a 48-yard field goal. The clock will continue to run. Chris Jones will get credit for it.
close his bets,
Exactly.
especially when it's against the Chiefs.
And if it wasn't money, he would have put whatever new shoes he bought right up here on the top of this desk.
Don't put me in.
Steve called me. Hey, Darren, I can't
Man,
access.
see, that's why.
I'm just saying.
It might be your own people.
Hey, don't
Old
make me
people.
like old
Did anybody get the
I'm
license?
the only one. Don't make
Did
me like
anybody-
I'm the only one. I'm the only heathen over here.
Did anybody get the license plate to that bus?
Make it model something.
He backed up, rolled back over me. I'm like, nah, man.
Dang, and to my right, the accomplice, I guess, nephew Steve Walls.
The speed
I don't know
bump
nothing
on
about
Truce.
that.
Your new nickname is Pothole Jones.
I'm good. I'm good. I didn't take no L's yesterday.
You did on that drive, though. I'm just glad to see you.
I did.
Man. So back in the day, I used to drive down to Memphis all the time.
Okay.
Mm,
So
How
the
far is that?
8-hour drive,
8 hours?
8 hours.
Oh,
But
okay.
you know, you go to St. Louis first, and then you go south.
Yeah.
yeah.
So you got that 4 hours. There's something between here and there.
White Castle.
Yeah. I mean, you got Des Moines, you got Cedar Rapids.
There's nothing in Des Moines, so
Yeah,
let's
it was
not even throw that
actually-
in there.
It's actually had a little Nike outlet.
Oh
No, I didn't stop though.
Yeah,
I
I'm
didn't
like,
stop.
you stopped.
But making that 8-hour drive when you're young, it's like nothing. But when you hit a
Man.
certain age, you like get bored
Yeah.
easy now. That 8-hour
Yeah.
drive feel like 20.
Nah, Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, and then you right there.
There's nothing to see in Iowa.
It was.
I've driven through.
Very
for
scenic.
gigs.
You know what they call Iowa?
What's that?
It stands for idiots out wandering around.
What? I've never heard that.
Yeah, and I heard that from people who live in
Who
Iowa.
live
I
in
say if
Iowa.
y'all watching us from Iowa, don't.
They'll tell you idiots out wandering around. That's all that's in Iowa.
Okay.
And
Music
in cattle.
Express.
No, that's what they told me that.
Oh,
I didn't make that
yeah.
up. That
Oh,
came
okay.
from an Iowan.
Yeah, because I've driven up there for gigs and it's nothing to look at.
It's like cow tipping.
I've driven up there one time for NCAA, and that was the last
I
time.
rest my case. To my far right, king of the moisturizer,
Yeah,
the infamous DJ Q.
yeah. What's going on,
What happening, yo?
man? Still recovering from the weekend. It's a busy
Yeah.
weekend,
I
man.
see you with your
I was about to
monogram
say something
sweatshirt.
else.
Hmm?
Still recovering from the. Never mind.
We'll get into that too, because I'm sure he wasn't happy because we're going to have that conversation most definitely today. I'm Sean Tyler. If you don't know, we are inside the W studio for week 13 as season 5 of the Red Hour talking Chiefs football. Chiefs lost to the Green Bay Packers 19-27 on Patrick Mahomes' first visit to Lambeau. And he got Lambeau'd. A lot happened in that game, and I'm going to send a shout out right now to Isaiah Pacheco, who was the bright spot in that game yesterday. 18 carries, 110 yards, and a touchdown. And I tuned out so early in this game, I did not know Isaiah Pacheco was even ejected from the game.
Oh, really?
So I checked that early.
It didn't really matter because they didn't use him after he got him down there in scoring position.
So, you know, I told you when I see what I see, I'm like, yeah, I ain't wasting my time. I've been here before. Laundry can be getting done in this time.
Mm-hmm.
So this game had everything that you did not want as a Chiefs fan. A lot of people who are not Chiefs fans have been saying for the past few years that the Chiefs get all the calls. That was definitely proven wrong yesterday, because even some of the sports pundits who are not real Chiefs fans, you hear them talk about it all the time. We're talking about how egregiously bad those calls were. I didn't see a lot of it because I saw where it was going and I tuned it out. So I did see a couple of very bad pass interference calls. What did you see when you were in Green Bay? Was there chatter?
Not really. I mean, of course, there were a lot of Chiefs fans that traveled there, but from the Green Bay fans, it's just like normal. Like work is work.
It's Sunday.
Yeah, it's Sunday.
It's Sunday.
Yeah.
This game, man.
Say Titletown was jumping.
Of course, Titletown was jumping. And for those of you who don't know, Titletown is an entertainment district they have built around Lambeau Field now.
So like Westport.
Very power and lighty Westporty,
Mhm.
because they're trying to make it a destination year round. So if you like the Green Bay Packers or football, they have like museums and talk about the history of football and the history of Lambeau Field. And
It was cool though, because it felt like the plaza. Like without the shops. Like if you can imagine Power and Light being at the plaza and then Arrowhead right there.
so
Really
Plaza
nice.
without the shops is basically
I don't know.
driving up Ward Parkway, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
So it was
it's
just like
a
all
neighborhood.
bars.
It's like but it's
So
a
Westport.
neighborhood like area. Imagine Lawrence, Kansas.
Yeah.
It is
So like
pretty much a
Mass
college
Street.
town.
Yeah,
kinda like
and
Mass
people
Street.
rent out their houses to like do parties before the game, like tailgating in backyards.
Because you're in a
It's crazy.
neighborhood.
Yeah,
You're in the middle of a neighborhood.
Oh, It's really weird.
Yeah, you don't have to drive out. Like, it's really like a college town.
I mean, that tells you how old that team is too.
Because they played in championship games before it was even called the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
So this is one of the oldest teams in the league. And,
Yeah. The stadium's dope though.
and Lambeau has been right where it is.
a light show and before the
every time they
game,
score a
and
touchdown.
it's dope. It's dope. Cut the lights out and do like these little fireworks. It's
All right.
very nice.
Sound like you about to be a Green Bay-ian.
Not so much. I'm gonna leave that for Lil Wayne.
Yeah, because Lil Wayne did the intro to the game yesterday, and he's a big Green Bay Packer fan.
He is.
So,
And that's all they were saying was like, oh, y'all got Taylor Swift, we got Wayne, we got Weezy.
And he got
Oh.
Simone Biles.
Like, well, her too.
is that a comparison? And for the record, if anybody's watching this from Green Bay, we don't want Taylor. Y'all can have her too.
Please take her.
Like, y'all got Wayne, we got Tech. What?
Y'all can have Taylor Wayne. Y'all can have Twain. We good. We are good. But this game, Chris Jones, there was an article in the paper today, the Kansas City Star, about Chris Jones mentioning that he doesn't think that he'll be a Chief next year. Did you see the article? Because I know you read.
I didn't need to read it to know that before the season started. So
know that Chris is gonna be here.
I mean, it took them as long as they did to come to contract negotiations the way they did, the way Brett Veach has been doing things. I don't see why he would be here next year.
Do you think it's a money thing or it's a Chris Jones thing?
I think it's a Brett Veach thing.
Oh, all right. I don't know how to take that, but sure.
I mean, you have to ask.
I mean, I'm asking. That's what I'm like.
No, I
thought
think
you was-
no. I mean, they're going to feel like he's at that age, 30 years old. They're not going to want to pay him that kind of money when they feel like they can get somebody who's probably coming out of their rookie contract that's going to be playing at his same pace, so to speak. And if they're going to spend that kind of money, they'll spend on somebody that's 25, 26 versus 30.
Ain't many
If you
young
smart,
players being
if you smart, you
productive.
do not give up Chris Jones. I'm sorry.
Can you think of
Well, it's not a matter of giving up. I mean, he'll be a free agent unless they tag him.
Can you think of some potential targets right now that are maybe in another
No.
team? yet?
No, because
No.
and they were talking about this on either ESPN or Fox Sports.
Mhm.
That the level that he's playing at, even at his age, there aren't many even younger
Yeah.
players who have
No, I
No.
agree.
what Chris
I mean, I
Jones
agree.
has. So giving him up would be a dream for another team.
Yeah.
And now that they see, even at this age, he's still playing and he's very impactful,
Mhm.
that he
Yeah, but-
might get money someplace else.
It's about as big as giving up Tyreek Hill.
No, I don't think that was a big deal because we still won a championship without him.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm talking
I mean,
just
the
as
talent,
the
yeah.
talent wise.
Yeah.
No, I don't agree
Dude,
with that.
I've never been on the Tyreek.
I agree with you. I mean,
I've
and it's-
never been on the Tyreek.
it's-
I wouldn't want to give him up. I mean, I think he's a stature, and I think he's a pillar to their defense and what they want to do. Because we've seen what they look like trying to replace certain players, especially on offense. We see what they look like this year. You try to replace Chris Jones on the defensive side of football going into next season.
and that's what turns into the tough thing about teams trying to follow that dynasty mode that the Patriots kind of coined, and it's the next man up thing and really trying to have a deep roster. Like some of those picks, I mean, are just
But you've seen players
Lotteries.
who have either sat out or made demands or was injured or whatever, and they were out like 3 or 4 games and then came back, and it took them another 3 or 4 or 5 games to get reacclimated and do what they do. Chris Jones sat out all the preseason in 1 game and immediately was impactful week 2.
and but
It
he's
has been impactful every week since.
and he's played with Spags for 5 seasons. So again, to his point, like, hey, I know this defense inside and out. I know the personnel.
And I can do this.
Like, pay me.
Still.
And here's the flip side. We see we're living in real time, seeing what it's like when Brett Veach and is going on the cheap when it comes to these wide receivers and the talent that you're putting around Patrick Mahomes. You can't keep trying to replace these high-end players who have been playing at a high level rate. And then you're just going to replace them with what do you call it? Entry level.
But here's
I
the
don't-
thing about that.
I think we're doing tomato here.
Yeah.
Because with the wide receiver core, even that we had last year, he still spread the ball around so much. There wasn't like, other than Travis Kelce, there was no we're going to you other than Tyreek. And we didn't have Tyreek last year. And we still spread it around, and it was still it worked.
But the flip side of that was that nobody knew what to expect. You got a full season of film, and
everybody
teams have
on tape.
adjusted to it.
And this
They
is
weren't able
why
to do
I
that
have
last
been
year.
saying since we've been talking about the start of this season, it's not just those wide receiving core or the other running backs. Patrick Mahomes has not been as effective as he has been either. So
and I don't think it's that. I think we talked about it 2-3 weeks ago when we started slowly creeping in, like what use does Matt Nagy serve? And especially not what use does he serve, but how effective is his service in comparison to the offensive coordinator that just left.
Here's the thing, though, on something about what Darren just said about Brett Veach. I don't think I will give you that as far as I get a trade deadline, right? But before that, I feel like they were going to get D-Hop. However, Chris Jones stalled that whole plan.
It wasn't Chris
because
Jones.
of his
contract.
It
wasn't Chris Jones. It was OBJ signing that contract with Baltimore.
No. It was Chris Jones because they had the money freed up. However, they didn't know if Chris was going to sign what they were going to give him, or if Chris was going to take
I get what you're
more.
saying. I get what you're saying, but they were working. Initially, they were trying to get either D-Hop, because that was according to Justina Anderson, or OBJ for $4 million. But when Baltimore offered and signed OBJ for $18 million, well, DeAndre Hopkins' price went up, and the Chiefs couldn't afford it after that.
But he was still going to give him a team-friendly deal.
He was.
That
was
not if OBJ is getting $18 million.
Well, and that was going to be my question, because do you think them not landing that key free agent at receiver, do you think that's what made Chris Jones turn up the heat? And it's like, okay, y'all freed up this money, and I'm not getting paid.
No, I think Chris was wanting to get paid no matter what.
I mean, yes, no matter what, but I
don't think he was caring about the receiver. I think he was just straight up, hey, pay me my money.
I mean,
and then
again, that's how Chris was when he got his first contract.
And I got to shout out Chris Jones for showing up in a suite week 1 at that game with his agents flanking him. That was just absolute brilliance.
Mm-hmm.
That cojones.
Take it.
Grandes cojones.
I do want to ask a question, and it's kind of taken away from the game, but since we're talking about some of the contract stuff, we talk about how valuable and how much input Patrick has in this organization. How much blame should he be receiving for moves not being made? Because if Patrick wants said receiver or wants him to go get somebody, do you think Brett Veach and Clark Hunt are saying no to him? And if that's the case, how much did Patrick actually, push to get a wide receiver here?
Can you put that on him?
Yes.
Because we've always heard him
being
the player GM in this organization. I feel like he has to say so. I mean,
really? Okay.
He has to say so. He also Rashee Rice. He said that he worked.
Steve. Did they not draft Clyde Edwards-Helaire because Mahomes wanted him to?
Yeah, he texted Brett Veach and said that's the guy I want to go get, and they got him.
Man.
Oh,
what are we talking about?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but now
I didn't know that.
Now, did Clyde pan out? I mean,
he
went
so well, and now that adds on to my question, because now his first pick as a GM hasn't panned out.
Well, his next one, Rashee Rice, he said I worked out with him down in Texas. I think this is the guy that we need to look at out of SMU. Now, granted, of course, Rashee went to school with the Veaches.
But to your point,
Clark Hunt's daughter and son, and so they kind of was familiar with him. But
and to your point, there's a reason why. Right before the draft, they talked about him working out with Zay Flowers and some of these other wide receivers, but they never mentioned Rashee Rice.
I mean, he was low on the list too.
No. But what I'm saying is, all the players that were drafted in the first round worked out with Patrick Mahomes. The only receiver that did not, that you heard throughout the draft process that was working out with Mahomes was Rashee Rice, because he was the one, as he said, that's the one that they were looking at. Everybody else, Zay Flowers and everybody else that we heard about, worked out with him.
Well, next time,
so it was like
Patrick Mahomes text Brett Veach and go, hey, this is what I want. If I'm Brett Veach, I'm going to respond to, how about you get the ball to the ones you already got, and then we can have a conversation.
I mean, he's been doing that.
But here's the thing about that too.
That's another conversation.
You didn't expect MVS to come out here and have 0 targets in some games, 1 target. Sky Moore to be playing like he's. You didn't expect that. We thought Kadarius Toney was going to be the number one.
I have seen Patrick throw near these receivers, not to them, near them.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Yesterday was different.
It was a lot different, and we're going to go into more of it. It's time to take our very first break. Week 13, season 5 of the Red Hour. The Chiefs go down to the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay is now sitting at 500 on the season, 6-6. And the Chiefs are 8-4. One more loss, we're going to be in the Hunt column. And I don't mean Lamar Hunt.
I got real quick before I go to break, something for y'all to think about. Is this a make year for Green Bay, this game, or is it more of a break year for Chiefs? Think about that.
The latter
Make a break.
half.
We can go break.
We'll go to break. We'll come back
this
and
past game or this game coming up?
It's past game.
this past game yesterday. We'll talk about it all, and we'll talk about the AFC standings. We'll talk about the rest of the season for the Chiefs and a lot of other good stuff going on in the league and wins and losses around the league. Hey, Q, we're coming back. The Red Hour in moments.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, Q. Welcome back. Season 5, week 13 of the Red Hour. That moment of silence was brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers. Drink responsibly. All right, so just a couple of more interesting things that happened yesterday. The Chiefs were going down like bowling pins yesterday with injuries. Luckily, a lot of the guys were able to come back into the game. Brian Cook, who was actually taken out on a cart, we thought it was going to be really, really bad. Got good news today that his ankle is not broken. We'll get an update on if it's something that he can return from, is there surgery that might be needed, or what actually happened, but definitely not a broken ankle, so not as severe as we thought it was. So Chief Safety Brian Cook, we'll get some more information on that as the week go by. But
I figured it
wasn't
wasn't bad. I figured it wasn't broken post game when he had his boot on.
Yeah, they said they had him in a boot in the cast.
Well, no, he didn't. He had like Tim's.
A boot and, yeah. Oh, he had his boot on.
Yeah, Tim, like Tim.
Oh, okay.
Crutches.
Nice.
So
but crutches is what he had.
Yeah, crutches,
Okay.
but still had his Tim's on. You know how heavy those are.
Mm-hmm.
So
and you're not putting a broken nothing in those.
Yeah, so I was like, nah, ain't nothing
Re-break
wrong
it.
with his ankle.
Drew Tranquil is on concussion protocol.
Mm-hmm.
So he could be out a week or two, depending on how his concussion evaluation goes leading up to the next couple of games.
Come back next week.
Or like Aaron Rodgers.
Can we talk about that?
Sure.
Can we talk about it now?
Why?
Talk about Aaron Rodgers.
Like, why you don't like Aaron Rodgers, man?
No, I'm just saying, like, he's not playing this season, and him coming back to practice was
Means
just
nothing.
to be talked about.
Yeah, he just wants to stay relevant. Make it feel like he's
I
getting
think
his
I've already
money's
told you.
worth.
I don't think he had a torn ACL. So
No, it's Achilles.
Achilles.
I think he
Yeah.
did. He
Whatever.
did. They did something crazy, and he had it done, and now
He's
cool.
40.
I think he had a high ankle.
What's wrong with
sprain.
40? Wait, whoa. What's wrong with 40?
How's your NFL career going?
I mean, I didn't have one, but I could get out there if I need to. Play wide receiver.
Well, where was your antennas a few weeks ago when they
Yeah.
need
If I
somebody
need
to
to get
throw the
out there and
ball
play
to?
wide receiver, I
Yeah.
can.
You be at the facility. I mean,
take
you
half
might as
the-
you
well.
there.
I take half the price.
You might as well just like sneak over to the jugs machine, like, oh, I didn't know I was supposed
Take
to
half
be
a-
here.
You were always my favorite nephew.
Right.
Get that half price. I'm right there with you.
Half
Go,
price.
Stan! Go!
How much you think they pay me to run out there and run some routes?
$45 and some nachos.
$6.50.
If you put him out to run away, just get away from him.
Here, let's validate his parking and give him a food voucher.
Hey, but I think I could get. I think I could catch a pass in the game.
They're gonna tell you go long, like and then when
Real
you,
long.
And then when you get to
Keep
Blue Ridge,
going.
keep going.
Keep
Nah,
going.
Keep
but in
going.
all seriousness, though, I feel like I could catch a pass in the game, like
From Patrick Mahomes?
from Mahomes.
You'd be
You
one of
can't
the
do no
only wide
worse.
receivers who was doing it. That's for damn sure. But what is it about Aaron Rodgers you want to talk about?
I mean, do y'all think he's gonna come back?
Not
No,
this season.
Not
no.
this season at all.
No.
All right, well, that settles that. Move on. Moving on.
I mean, we kind of knew that 2 weeks ago.
Amazing. All right, so
Aaron might come back just to spite us.
He's not.
the Jets would be foolish to let him in the game at this point because he get one hit and shatter like glass. Everything. Speaking of everything being broken, do you see Derek Carr yesterday? He had like 15 injuries in one.
Oh, really?
Oh, dude, his neck, his back, his shoulder, his hand, concussion.
I don't even
had
know
a list of injuries.
I don't even know why he came back because even the fans don't want him back in New Orleans. Man.
They wanted him in the
boo
beginning of the season.
Speaking of injuries, shout out to Peyton, my son. He said he just got his cast taken off.
Shout out, nephew. Let's go.
So he got 2 shoes on now.
All right. I know he's happy about that because he was.
All his right shoes are worn out.
He can't go get the display shoe anymore. Like, which one of them you want? Pick that one.
He's up, man. He's up.
He's back to normal.
He's up. All right, nephew. Glad you're back in 2 shoes. AFC standings right now. The Dolphins atop the AFC, 9-3 record. The Ravens, second, 9-3. The Jags, third in the standings, 8-3. The Chiefs, 8-4. Are in the 4th place, and the Steelers with the 7-3 record are right there. One more loss, and we're not going to be even the wild card situation. We'll be in the hunt at this point. So these are the games, and we talked about this last week because we assumed.
No, that's not true. One more loss would still be
in
the division.
I'm exaggerating.
No, you wasn't exaggerating.
Oh, I was.
You were probably really serious about.
Oh, but and you know what? And with a couple of wins for some other teams, we absolutely will be in the hunt.
Yeah,
that's different.
I accept your apology. But we talked about this last week when we thought that the Chiefs would actually go to Green Bay and win. We talked about the last 5 games and what it would look like. But now, since they lost to the Green Bay Packers, this Bills game could be trouble. This Raiders game could be trouble.
And the Denver game.
And the Chargers game could be trouble.
They've already played Denver twice.
We've already done the Denver thing twice.
I'm tripping,
So Patriots, Bengals, not really worried about. But even the Bengals game could be iffy at this point. Depending on, we'll see what this, is he second, third string quarterback does for
I think second string.
The Bengals tonight on Monday Night Football.
I never thought I would cheer for the Bengals, but tonight I'm cheering for them.
The Bengals are taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars tonight on Monday Night Football.
That's what I was thinking.
Literally, if Jacksonville wins out, they would actually have the number 1 seed.
They absolutely will. So there's 3 games in this remaining schedule that the Chiefs could absolutely lose.
Oh, so now we're going back to my point from last week.
Oh, wait, no, we're not proving your point could be correct. Come on, no.
I said y'all would lose at least 2 for the rest of the season, maybe 3.
He said 2 when it came to Miami, and
he said 3 in a row. He said it's going to be a 3-game losing streak.
I said 3 in a row, but I was like, oh, well, maybe that just got pushed back. So,
hey, we always tell you the goalposts always move.
No, because last week when we were talking, y'all was like, how many more games you think they would lose throughout the season? And I said at least 2 to 3 more. And that was literally last week.
Okay, so we have Josh Allen coming here. And we have the Raiders coming here.
Y'all already lost 1 of the rest that I said.
Yeah, and we got the Bengals coming here. The Chargers are in LA.
More the Eagles losing.
We're gonna get there.
I could look.
We're gonna get there because that also brings up my point.
I could look.
That also brings up my point about the Miami Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
When I asked in week 3 or 4 if this Dolphins team was legitimately a real team, going to be dropping these 40 burgers on teams, you said absolutely.
Yeah, I thought so, especially with the 2 years that they already had together.
And great, and they're doing it on JV squads. When they play a real team,
I mean, they don't make the schedule.
They don't make the schedule. They don't make the schedule. But Nephew and I were talking about it earlier when we were watching some of the recaps of these games. I think at this point, they're putting up these kind of points on these scrubby teams just so Tyreek Hill can get that 2,000-yard season.
I mean, I ain't mad at them.
And I'm not. But when it comes to them playing a real game against a real opponent, just like the Philadelphia Eagles, because I had to remind my son last night watching the game. It's like, dude, you realize the only reason that Philadelphia even went to the Super Bowl last year is because they were playing a 3rd or 4th string quarterback. It's the only way they got in. Do you doubt that?
I mean, that's an opinion.
That's not an opinion, dude.
I mean, Christian McCaffrey was taking snaps this last year in the championship game.
And that's absolutely fine.
Mm-hmm.
But, we saw yesterday, 42-19, the Eagles lost to the 49ers.
Oh,
the
they couldn't tackle in the second half to save their life.
Obviously, they couldn't score either.
I mean, that too, yeah.
Yeah, but when they play a real opponent like that, because like the Chiefs game, we lost that game.
I mean, some teams, and especially like the 49ers are, I mean, they're literally in the place behind the Eagles. So, I mean, yeah, that game is a toss-up.
The Eagles don't make the
It
schedule.
wasn't a toss-up no more.
Right.
And that's the
game that was like circled on everybody.
Exactly. No, and that's what I'm.
It was circled on the 49ers.
No, and that's
NFC Championship.
and that's
like, we got our team. Let's go.
And that's the point I was arriving to, because again, with the Chiefs versus the Eagles, that was a revenge game. And so with this coming into this game, yes, that was a revenge game for the 49ers. But the 49ers, I mean, they've been rolling. They looked terrible early, but
you know what that game showed, and it's kind of, if you kind of go back to 49ers when they dismantled the Cowboys 42-10, what that shows is that that's going to leave a lasting mental taste in your mouth, because if you play them in the postseason, if one of those two teams play each other in the postseason, now you may have to travel there, and if so, the last thing you're gonna remember was getting dog walked 42-10 or whatever the final score.
No, because I think one of the things that I've been noticing, especially last couple of games watching the Eagles, is that their coordinators they're inexperienced, and it kind of shows, because like even with the Chiefs, when they do really bad in the first half, you see the adjustments made, and you see how effective those adjustments are made once they get in.
Come on, Chiefs.
Yeah, the Chiefs. I'm saying on defense.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
Specify
it wasn't.
Specify that.
I wasn't. Yeah. I didn't specify that part. But like with the Eagles, you have two very inexperienced first-year coordinators on offense and defense. The offensive play calling is not like inventive at all. You don't see the excitement you saw last year. You don't see the play design that you've seen. And San Francisco, their play design was working. Like,
I don't know if it's that, or whether or not Jalen Hurts is more hurt than he's actually.
I don't.
Playing.
I'm not putting that, because he looked fine yesterday. He looked fine.
No, but what I'm saying is that we've seen outside of Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown going off throughout the season, and that was of course after the Minnesota game where he had that outburst. So to say that they're not being inventive or
they aren't.
Look, nobody, and this includes Andy Reid, is designing plays like Mike Shanahan, and to an extent the Miami Dolphins
definitely. I mean,
with their offense, so
that too. But then they're also missing their number one tight end. So I mean that
got
plays
one now.
Who they got Ertz today?
They did get Ertz.
They got Ertz.
Yep.
And that's what you need. That's the piece that you're missing.
Yesterday, though. But
Well, no, but yesterday showed you the difference in like having that security blanket as a tight end. Because if we take out Travis Kelce, what kind of games are we talking about with the Chiefs? And that's
right now,
and not to
yesterday in that game, Philly was all about physicality. That was the
it
same
was
thing. That was
it was
same
physicality.
Thing,
yeah,
same thing that the 49ers did with the Cowboys. Same thing.
Yeah.
To an extent that the Eagles did with the Cowboys, but that was all about imposing their will and again leaving that impression. So if these two teams face off in the playoffs, whether it's back in Philly or in San Francisco, they're gonna remember the last time that they played on the field against each other.
And then it turns into a revenge game, because I mean, last season didn't the 49ers come in and like wipe them before the championship game? I think
that was the Cowboys.
That was Cowboys.
It was the Cowboys. Okay,
yeah. And that was without Jalen Hurts. But yeah.
But I wasn't putting Dallas Goedert on like Travis Kelce's level. But again,
please don't ever do that. Please don't.
No, that's not going to happen, because Dallas Goedert wasn't even that when we had Brent Selleck. But to my point, like Jalen Hurts just hadn't seemed comfortable at all, and I've been saying that since the first week of the season. Like they aren't the explosive offense they were last year.
But they're 10-2.
And I mean, they win ugly games, and that's
you see how Q tries to downplay like they're.
But it's funny how what he says fits his the whole motif for the Philadelphia Eagles, but the exact opposite goes for the Chiefs
every week.
We're gonna take another break right now.
Every week.
And before we leave, we want to shout out.
I will.
We want to
but
shout
we're
out
definitely talking
Sneed
about the
right now,
Kitchens
who is helping
offense.
take care of the KC Dynasty Youth Football team. They are playing in a regional championship game and needed some help getting to those games in Florida. And Darius Sneed stepped up, and he's helping these guys get there. So shout out to Sneed and the KC Dynasty Youth Football team. Good luck to you guys. And that's what I'm talking about, being in the community. Doing what you do.
Definitely.
We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Season 5, week 13. It's the Red Hour live from the W Studios. Back in moments.
Viewers,
We shall
that'll
see.
be the biggest stage for him to be able to make his.
Because even Jalen wasn't in the top 3 on this list that we saw earlier. I'm trying to remember who else was on there. I know Tyreek was one.
How could you?
Brock Purdy was one.
could have been Tua.
No, definitely wasn't Tua.
Oh, no, I mean,
But as far
all I
as
saw was those.
I would put my money behind Dak Prescott.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Let's talk about that.
No.
And again,
Chiefs.
And again, he's putting up MVP numbers this season. He absolutely is.
Stop being a hater over there. Don't be a hater all your life.
Hold on.
Nobody
I
hates.
just said he was in the top. What are you talking about?
Nobody hates the
I said
Cowboys like
he
I
said
do.
hold on, he called him Whack Prescott. And you co-signed it.
I didn't.
You
I'm
close.
definitely-
You see what I'm talking about?
We all know what my Super Bowl pick was. That's
Oh, I had the same pick. So what?
you try to tell me like you do those bets.
You the one calling me. Here, I can't pull up my bet, man. It said I can't find my save.
Right
bet.
now, I'm confused as to which one of y'all is the bus driver at this point.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
They both went and rented buses.
So we know that you agree with me that about Dak Prescott being.
He's not whack. It's Dak Prescott, the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. What about him?
What is? Who do you think is the
Steve,
MVP conversation?
I don't know. And I think that's where I'm at. I haven't seen.
You just want it to be a non-quarterback.
I don't even think it's that. I think it needs to be
the best player.
The best player in the league. Like,
So
I don't,
regardless of the position.
I don't, because
by far Tyreek Hill.
Because what I mean, I
See,
can give you that.
I can't
but
agree with that because I mean he's
You say
beating up on
somebody's getting the
JV. You know what I'm saying?
I
get it.
he
It's
don't
not
make the
his fault.
schedule.
It
Yeah,
is not his fault.
It's not
It
his
is
fault.
not his fault. But hell, even I can run past the people at the senior citizen homes and wheelchairs.
Because what I
I'd
don't
have more yards.
What I don't like about the
they might get
MVP award is it
Depending on the day.
the MVP award just it feels like the NCAA type of politics when you start
maybe
looking
it
at
was
like
like
college football. Like,
playoffs.
The David
y'all.
O'Brien
no,
quarterback.
no, and
that's what it's essentially turned
I'm saying it feels like how their playoff system is, and this whole controversy going on now with Florida State. Like, it just feels like it's a political thing. Like, it doesn't. The MVP. I mean, yeah, Patrick Mahomes has won it. Lamar Jackson has
Twice.
won it. But there's also
Respect
like,
on his name.
but there's also players in there that have also been good as well. And I think that this year needs to be that first step where we take it away from the quarterback award. Like,
when are the players gonna say something?
No, but here's the thing: it's not a matter of technical. The quarterbacks aren't playing up to the levels that they've played. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is not having the same year that he's had.
Well, and I don't think it's that. I think the field has kind of leveled out, and that's what I was saying walking into the room. Like, every team now, for the most part, most teams now have an athletic quarterback that can do a lot. So now the field is leveled out where you don't see Patrick Mahomes every week doing this great thing.
I'm kind of feeling that Myles Garrett.
And that's what I'm saying. That's who I've been seeing since like week 8.
Yesterday.
I mean,
you can't do that. You can't have a goose egg.
I mean,
First time in his career.
some weeks you can do that.
Okay,
you can't.
Patrick
Dak
wasn't
has lost some
flawless every
games,
year
right?
every
He's
week
not
last
been
year.
Undefeated. I mean, you're gonna take an L.
No, L is one thing, but you can't play and have a goose egg if you're a defensive lineman and you're trying to be an MVP.
I mean, why not?
For one game?
So
why not?
So the report came out earlier.
How's done? I mean, don't get mad at me. That's just how it is.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. The politics in it needs to be.
Yeah. The report came out earlier today. I don't know if it was on Bleacher Report or Sports Illustrated that, every year the players around the league select, talk about who they rank their top players.
Yes.
You know who's number one on that list, Patrick Mahomes. So if the players, and I don't know when that, when they do the ranking or when they ask the players, but I mean, if the players are saying that, I feel like they should do the MVP. Like, ask the players.
Well,
who the best player
I think
in the league
Patrick Mahomes is the go-to.
No, not always. Not as much as he gets hated on.
Well, I mean,
and I hate him this year.
No, and I'm saying that the hate don't matter. Like, Tom Brady got hated on, but he was like the consistent, like, he was the GOAT at one point because Peyton Manning couldn't beat him.
The league never hated on Tom Brady.
Yeah,
yes,
they
did.
did.
The league hated on Brady.
Yeah,
Deflategate.
Oh well, that's.
But he's not the.
When
clear...
you mess up though, that's you. You can't go rob the bank. And
I'm saying in that era, it was either Tom Brady or Peyton Manning.
Yeah,
like,
but Mahomes isn't always the clear,
so who's been better than him the last 5 years?
Aaron Donald.
I mean, I get.
No.
He ain't won nothing, but won Super Bowl.
Yeah, but he's won Super Bowl. But he's won 3 Defensive Player of the Year awards.
Okay.
I mean, you may have an argument. That's why I didn't say anything. I don't know.
You want Defensive Player of the Year, or you want Super Bowl MVP? With a trophy.
Hold on. First of all,
Check your tone. Or two. Say with your chest, Darren.
First of all, you asked who's been the top. The players voted Aaron Donald top player, not me.
Yes.
The players did. So I mean, so don't get mad at the answer. The players voted him.
You asked. So what other player right now would you say other than Tyreek Hill?
I like the Myles Garrett pick.
Myles Garrett.
I mean, I like. I mean, look now. Tyreek will of course say Tua because Tua's getting on the football, but but the best player.
Tyreek would say Tyreek.
And for me, I would need 2 to 3 more weeks to see who I would think, because like even last year, it was a toss up between Patrick and Jalen, but then Patrick
Jalen got hurt, and
he got hurt, but Patrick also played a lot better. Going into that latter like quarter of the season, he played a lot better, and
and to be honest, the MVP can actually be won or lost in the last week because literally Patrick Mahomes lost it.
It was like 2 weeks before. The year they were going back to the Super Bowl, he lost it because he had a bad game against Atlanta.
How you know he lost? You vote?
Hey man,
You know who when he lost because he reads.
And we were talking
I got
about the
sources.
college football playoffs. Shout out to our three
Florida
locals.
State?
K-State is taking on North Carolina State in the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Are you serious?
Right.
Pop-Tarts has a
on the
bowl.
28th.
This
Oh,
is
yeah.
egregious.
They selling up Pop-Tarts for them to have a bowl.
See what I'm saying? Everybody's got a bowl. KU is playing UNLV in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl on the day after Christmas.
Guaranteed
And
rate.
Hold on,
Mizzou is
first
taking
of all-
on Ohio State
Hold on, first of all,
in the Cotton Bowl.
we can't even slander them because if they want to sponsor the Red House, we gonna take it.
Pop-Tarts everywhere.
Cash.
Run it.
That's fine.
And you
That's fine.
and you know what doesn't get marketed enough? Toenail clippers. So let's start like a toenail clipping bowl.
What?
Huh?
They got everything else.
Okay, Mizzou is taking on Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl.
Who makes toenail clippers anyway?
So that's what I'm saying. Let's start a
We're gonna do
business,
the
Steve.
OnlyFans Bowl.
MIZ.
He keeps saying OnlyFans. Okay. I mean,
Listen,
clipping toenails.
and I know
there's a
OnlyFans
lot
got
of
some money.
Hey, there's a lot of money.
are
out
you
there.
are you
Listen,
an
how does this
investor?
sound? How does this sound?
How many of us are
Welcome to the
investors
Red
in
Hour being
OnlyFans?
brought to you by
Not it.
OnlyFans.
Not
Not
it.
subscribed unless it's free.
OnlyFans is not our target demographic.
You crazy.
Money.
I bet if you ask anybody watching the Red Hour right now, how many have checked out OnlyFans at least once in their life or thought about putting up a page? You're going to have some numbers.
OnlyFans dollars.
It is
Guaranteed
way
rate dollars.
it is way
Still
too much
spending.
free
So
content
that-
out here. Yeah.
How you know?
Oh,
How you know?
I know creators actually.
So listen, the Red Hour
Well,
being
we all-
brought to you
we
by
all know-
OnlyFans. Well, you
no,
don't
no,
only
we
have
all
to be a
know
fan.
creators.
You
Yeah.
can- absolutely.
No, yeah, we all know creators.
Y'all
and
just
it's,
don't know y'all know them.
yeah, because it's a lot of free content out
I
here.
know
I
people
tend
who
to
are
look upon
making
the
hundreds of
spiritual
thousands of dollars a
Christ.
year just doing stuff with their feet.
I'm trying to tell you.
Clipping toenails?
We saw
They
no
painted their toes, washed them, put
Sean,
lotion on them.
Sean, when we were getting to the Super Bowl in LA, we saw one that I knew, and they was like, "Oh, who is that?" And I'm like, "Oh, she dude, yeah, yada,
Yeah,
and,
yada yada.
And she was telling me while we waiting on bags, she's just telling me her struggles and all of it, and I'm like, "Oh,
Do they watch? Do they watch football though? That's the question.
Absolutely.
no."
They watch football.
Hmm.
They might not block out
They
3 hours to
they might
get off
watch-
OnlyFans to do it. They'll check the scores.
Yeah.
They might
I'm
watch
just saying
football to
that.
see who's sitting in the
Never know who's
suites
watching.
and
You might
who's
wanna sponsor
whose
all of a
ownership of the team.
Who
but-
can I add to be one of
Yeah.
my? All right, so let's move on from that. I just wanted to congratulate the
Mhm.
3 teams, but
Mhm.
Mizzou is going to a real bowl game. They're going to the Cotton Bowl.
It's all about sponsorship.
Run it. Cha-ching. All right, so Monday Night Football tonight, the Bengals and the Jags, and hopefully the Bengals can do something. And then Thursday Night Football this week is the Patriots and the Steelers. What?
God, I'm staying so
Listen,
far away
if
from that game.
Prime might cancel their NFL contract because this year every Thursday night game has been absolutely abysmal.
Who's playing this,
No.
this week?
They've had 1 or 2 games.
Yeah, because I was gonna say last week's
Bruh.
Seattle and Dallas game. Was,
So
was
two
fire.
wins, 10 losses, 11 losses on.
They had 15 million viewers. Trust me, they
That's
put
fine.
That, they put that press release
That's
so
what I'm saying.
fast.
1 or 2 games, but for the majority Thursday night games have been a show. And this Thursday it is the Pats and the Steelers.
It's so bad they even got the Chiefs flexed out of
This
it.
Thursday
I
is
feel
Pats
like-
and Steelers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow, because the Patriots didn't even score this week.
Yes. Oh, they did flex us out of that game. We're
6-0.
playing a noon game.
The score.
Yeah, it was 6-0.
Yeah. So when we take on the Patriots in New
And the
England,
Steelers lost.
we'll yeah.
The quarterback got hurt though.
So
Still.
let's
be
talk
very
about some
wrong.
of these losses yesterday. We already talked about the 49ers beating up on the Eagles 42-19. They really got a whipping and a
We
whopping.
took their lunch
Nah,
money.
definitely.
Whopping.
Took their lunch money.
The Colts and the
Debo.
Titans yesterday, 31-28. That was a wild game. That went into overtime.
Mhm.
The Lions and the Saints. The Lions destroyed the Saints, but we kind of knew that was a possibility. But again, Derek Carr went out of the game with like 20 injuries.
Yeah, I did not.
So is the
Saints
NFC
win that.
North like the next up kind of like division? Are they
Maybe.
the future?
No. They
You
got
said
some
AFC North.
Mhm.
They got-
NFC.
NFC North.
Yeah.
North.
I mean, you got the Lions doing well. I mean, the Packers yesterday trending up.
It's
Yes.
I would give them the youth. Like
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
next up,
yeah,
like
but
Yeah.
they have to show some consistency first.
Mhm.
The Broncos lost to the Texans yesterday, 12-22. The Dolphins beat up on the Commanders 45-15, and the Cardinals and the Steelers game. Cardinals beat the Steelers 24-10. The Cardinals are what? 3-10 now?
I don't know, but one thing we can't overlook, even though they're in the NFC, is the Rams. The Rams, I think, in the number 7 spot now.
The Rams. But this Cardinals-Steelers game had like 17 rain delays, and it was horrible. Like, they kept showing.
Every time I put on Sunday ticket, it's like we're in the delay.
And the rain
It's
delay.
like, come on, man.
And then they were like, "We'll take you back to your game in Pittsburgh." It's like, how bad was the rain in Pittsburgh yesterday?
They schedule. I mean, their record is worse than the Washington Commanders.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the Cardinals?
Are they?
Oh, absolutely.
Who has the worst rate? It's still
The Cardinals,
Carolina, right?
Carolina
has the worst record.
Yeah, because they
only have one win.
Chicago gets it.
Yeah, they've already been eliminated from playoffs already. Like, no questions asked.
I'm looking at it. Steve was trying to see where they were. He kept scrolling. I was like,
where are they?
Why don't they have the Panthers on here? Then they're way at the bottom, eliminated.
Like
1-11.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so we know who gets the first round pick.
They're gonna need a coach and some players.
Chicago. So these games we mentioned with the Bills coming up this Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills are 6-6. We lost to a team that is now 6-6.
Yeah, I'll say, does that matter? That's what
and it's Josh Allen.
Depending on what Josh Allen you get. If you get the Josh Allen that's going to try to run all over you and take over a game.
Have we seen the Josh Allen show up against Patrick Mahomes that wasn't worthy of being there?
Well, and I think that's the caveat, because it's always been this, like, Josh Allen is like the next one in line from Patrick Mahomes and all this. And I think they always try to prove a point where he takes over the game when they try to play him. But then he turns into Josh Allen, and they never – I mean, the 13-second game was – I mean, that was just an anomaly. But even before then, have the Bills beat the Chiefs lately?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. The Bills always beat the Chiefs in the regular season. It's in the playoffs where they don't beat them.
But they contend in those games, is all I'm saying. So if the Bills show up to this Chiefs game,
well, the Bills are going to show up because they still have an outside shot for the playoffs.
But
it's a must-win game for them.
Either way,
to play harder.
But with this Chiefs team,
I mean, I think they're salivating at this point.
This is an absolutely beatable Chiefs team for the Bills.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Look, I was telling. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I would say that the Chiefs aren't feared this year, and I don't think they have been.
And I think Steve and I talked about it on our post game after Philly. As of now, even if it's late in the game, fourth quarter, 2 minutes ago, I don't trust Mahomes or this offense to get the job done.
I think it's more of the offense, because I mean we've seen Patrick like kind of wheel some games at the very end.
Hey, look, I love Patrick, but I'm talking about when it comes to trying to win a ball game now. I don't trust Patrick to get it done. I don't trust your receivers. I definitely don't.
I think you don't trust the offense. But here's the thing.
Here's the thing. You said that though, but here's the thing. You look back at the game. The first MVS pass that Patrick put that right on the money. So we can't say we don't trust Mahomes because
that's what I'm saying.
MVS
don't trust the offense.
So and then yesterday that wasn't Mahomes at the end. That was the ref.
What is it you and I have said? The offense being the juggernaut that it used to be.
Yeah.
They should not even have been in that situation.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Whose fault was that interception in the fourth quarter?
That was Mahomes, but that wasn't the end of the game.
Okay.
That was,
so y'all don't blame Sky at all?
He was talking about 13 seconds, and that was the end of the game.
Hold on.
So you said he still can't do that?
Too. Eric Henry was offensive.
But what I'm asking is, you saying that he still can't do that?
I'm not saying he can't. I'm saying
no backtrack.
No.
You said you don't trust him,
dude. What damn? Can I just say what I was about to say?
Go ahead. Yeah.
I said yes. I don't trust him to get.
Well, and you were saying him. I think as a whole, you don't trust the offense, and Patrick Mahomes is a part of that. But
when I say the offense, that means Patrick. It means the wide receivers. It means the linemen to not get a false start or hold.
You pointed at Patrick solely, though.
He did.
I said Patrick. I said the offense, and I said the coaching. All of that is inclusive. That's all the same thing. However you want to take it. I don't trust any of the three of them at the moment.
I trust Patrick. I don't know if I trust anybody else outside of him, Pacheco, and Travis.
Patrick has regressed on his passing, man. I mean, the man has he thrown? I think he might have one game this year that he's thrown for 300 yards. Man.
Here's the thing, though. More times than not, he's come through. So until he doesn't, in a big, I'm talking like playoff game, not these games twos and fews during regular season.
You got to make the playoffs,
Steve. The way this offense is looking, I don't trust it in the playoffs.
You got to make the playoffs first. Let's go there.
Come on now.
You got to make it first.
Yeah, but we got to see it. We got to see it. When he doesn't,
Well,
you can only go off his last playoff games.
If we keep having fourth quarters like like they did against Philly, and like they did against the Green
Third
Bay
quarter,
Packers,
second quarter, first quarter,
thank you.
2 quarters, 3
You don't have to worry
dimes.
about the playoffs. You want to worry because one, we're gonna be
Nickels and
taking our show on the road after
all
the
the
wild
quarters.
card game.
I'm fine with that.
I mean, yeah.
Hey, and I just noticed one thing, like the all whites that the Chiefs played in yesterday. I love that
Fire.
uniform.
Fire. Yeah, I like them too.
I'm watching the Bengals playing all whites, and their helmets are all white.
Oh,
Like the
they
Chiefs,
Yeah.
what
They've been doing all whites a couple
yeah,
times.
what would that
this
all
year.
white Chiefs helmet
Game
with that
started.
uniform?
Yeah, that would look terrible.
That doesn't look terrible.
The Chiefs colors would look terrible.
White and red.
I mean,
it's
but
no
they
different.
still have pops of orange in their uniforms. Like the Chiefs still have the pops of red and gold, but they're having the all whites. So I don't.
So it
ain't
looked
doing
like
that.
a toned down Ronald
Well, I
McDonald.
guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh wow. I'm
Here he
you know,
goes.
just a thought.
Don't get him started.
Just a thought.
I had somebody watch the show that says that all bowls are real bowls. So watch. Just saying, and I agree.
Bowl haircuts, cereal bowls, soup bowls. I'm just saying. The Pop-Tart Bowl player, come on. That's like you won enough games in your division. Here, let's send you somewhere.
Yo, no, shout out to Kellogg because y'all can.
Y'all can sponsor us too. And I love some syrup. I eat some syrup.
Telling
What?
Syrup.
Telling y'all now, toenail clippers might be a wide open lane.
So you'd rather have a toenail clipper sponsor than some syrup?
I mean, who would pay more?
Kellogg's
Kellogg's.
definitely has more money than a toenail clipper because you can get some random toenail clippers from Dollar General. They might not even clip the damn toenail.
I mean, you could just get a regular beer from anywhere, but
But Cero from Kellogg's is gonna be Cero from Kellogg's. Period.
Different brands too. We can pop all the
Yeah.
brands right over on the desk.
Post, Malto Mill brands, or even some of those brands are dope.
Post, who makes
Post makes honeycombs, and Cheerios makes
Who
Cheerios.
makes Pops?
General Mills.
General Mills makes pops?
What is corn pops?
Yeah.
I think that's General
Y'all
Mills.
speaking foreign language right now. 'Cause I don't
You don't
know
eat
that.
cereal?
Yes, I eat cereal.
What's your cereal of choice?
Frosted Flakes?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
No. When we say cereal, we mean cereal
Frosted Flakes.
that ain't no cereal.
That's definitely cereal.
That's
Why not?
almost like honey bunches of oats. You eating
Frosted Flakes. Put a little
just
sugar
regular
on there.
brand flakes.
That's what I will say.
raisin. That's just
He gets the sugariest cereal and adds sugar. Steve is okay.
Haters gonna hate.
all right.
I can't
See, now I gotta
Yeah.
know before we go to our picks, your top 5 cereals.
Ooh, Frosted Flakes, Fruit Loops. Dang. I would Apple Jacks, Captain Crunch, and what's the one with the marshmallows?
There's plenty of marshmallow cereal.
No, what's
Lucky
the one?
Charms.
Lucky Charms. Yep. There
Mhm.
we go.
Man,
Y'all got problems with any one of those?
I'm mad that you mentioned Captain Crunch so late, like you couldn't
Yeah.
think of it.
I could.
You got a top 5?
My top 5, it's easily Captain Crunch and Corn Pops at the top. I like Lucky Charms. I like Apple Jacks. And then it'll either be Fruity Pebbles or Cocoa Pebbles to wrap up.
I've never had Cocoa Pebbles.
Cocoa Pebbles, look, that chocolate milk at the end.
You got a top
Yippee
5?
Skippy.
I've only eaten 2 cereals. I've only eaten cornflakes and cream of wheat.
Wait, cornflakes.
First of all, let's not call cream of
I know,
wheat
it's
cereal.
breakfast, but yeah, that's all I've ever eaten.
Nothing else.
Cream of wheat and cornflakes.
You was deprived as a kid.
Can we mute his mic or unplug it or
Like
something?
something.
Jesus.
Nah, my brothers, they love the Rice Krispies and all that. It just didn't interest me.
I forgot about Rice Krispies.
Something you can pour a bunch of sugar in.
That's what I'm saying. Like Steve has the most easiest palate in the world. That's so
I
funny.
seriously want to give you a hug right now. You
No,
mentioned
no.
Malto Meal as a
No,
cereal.
I said cream of wheat.
I'm sorry, cream of wheat.
Yeah, I don't-
And I love cream of wheat, but
I
you
mean,
mentioned it as a cereal?
sheesh.
Well, I'm just saying that's breakfast. That's all I'm saying. That's what.
First of all, you can eat cereal any time of the day. I will think that's what I'm having for dinner tonight.
Yeah, y'all
I need to give
y'all
you a
busy
hug.
with cereal in the morning. My man eats all sausage in the morning.
Pause. So this game coming up on Sunday is
We have the meats.
What?
The views expressed by those of Q. and Q.
man, that went left fast.
You already know it's gonna happen.
Jesus. He said we have the meats. All right, so GEHA Field at Arrowhead, the Buffalo Bills are coming to town. Nephew, Who you got winning this game?
Oh, I got the Chiefs. Bounce back game. But you know what though? To be honest, the defense gave up the most points they've given up all season yesterday.
And you know what? I would let them have one bad game this season.
I mean, when the offense can't score.
Is the defense regressing, or was that more of
It's more injuries?
Injuries.
Yeah, more injuries. Yeah.
Injuries and the offense not being able to punch the ball to the end zone.
They got stops when they need it, even at the end of the game, to get you the ball back with a minute 6 with no timeouts. They still got you the ball back.
They still did their work, but they just
Yeah.
wasn't as super as they have been.
And that's a young team that's just been pieced together. So
And look, hold on.
what do you do with the Bills team?
And let's say this. When you get down, when Pacheco gets you down to the 2-yard line, you can't be doing dumbass plays where you try to get the ball to Clyde and it almost gets popped up in the air and intercepted stuff. Just run the
I don't
ball
know
to
what
the
the hell
end
that
zone.
was about.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be as hot. What's the weather gonna be like? It's gonna be like 70 degrees or something.
It's gonna be a nice weekend.
Yeah, I know it's gonna be nice
Damn.
going into
Well,
the
that's
60
nice, huh?
something. 60. Yeah.
Sunday, sunshine and 45 degrees.
But still nice weather.
For this time of year,
I
definitely.
think it's gonna be a high scoring game. Here's the thing about this offense. You see them go to the Raiders and do some things you hadn't seen them do all season long, as far as being like a well-rounded team, run the ball, pass the ball. Now, yesterday it looked like, well, they got you scratching your head, and I think that's what they're going to show against Buffalo. It's going to be a head scratchers, like, well, where has this offense been? Yeah, it's going to be a barn burner.
I feel like you've said that before.
Sunday is saying 44 degrees.
That's what we just said.
That's still good. That's still good.
Sunshine and 45 degrees for December in Kansas City. Absolutely.
And if you get some precipitation, that kind of
7% chance.
That's today.
And again, I'm looking at the days leading up to. They're warmer, and then that means there's a front. So with that passing, there'll be probably less clouds and less chance of precipitation. So,
and I don't have a score. I just know it's going to be a barn burner.
All right. So what are you looking at this Sunday, Q? The Bills, the Chiefs.
I think you get another ugly showing like this. I think the Chiefs don't score 20 points. And I like this score, but I'll say 24-19.
Buffalo?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cousin?
Man, I'm almost ready to pick Buffalo to win this game.
Hey,
but
keep it a buck.
Do it.
Because that's what he's thinking about is the Bucks.
Keep it cream of wheat.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about my parlay for Sunday.
Exactly. That's he's thinking about the Bucks.
Keep it cream of wheat.
Chiefs can't score. Defense will have a bounce back game. I'm gonna go 21-17 Chiefs.
All right. And just so everyone knows, the Chiefs and the NFL have teamed up with Strange Music, and they've never teamed up with someone for an apparel line before. And we have some special Chiefs apparel coming out this weekend, only available at GEHA Field Pro Shop. There are 3 articles. There's a red on red Letterman's jacket.
Yep. I need one.
Yeah, with the leather sleeves and the wool.
You got the plug?
And it's got a Chiefs patch on it, and it says,
can the red eye get it?
Yeah, it's got Kansas City Chiefs on the back and the big emblem, and it's got the Strange Music patch and Tech 9 on it.
You got the
plug? T9.
Yeah, can Steve
and we have a black satin jacket as well.
I was gonna say, if you've got anything all black, as long as it doesn't
not all black, but it's got like the Chiefs patches. I'll show them to you.
We love to wear it.
I'll show them to you.
I just don't want nothing with ketchup and mustard on it.
Oh my goodness, hater, man, hater.
As he sits here in the Q mustard sweatshirt. And
there's
then
no ketchup though.
There's a T-shirt as well. So only available this Saturday at GEHA Fields Pro Shop at Arrowhead, and that's the only place you get them. You can't get them online. You can't get them at strangemusic.com. Only there. And Tech will be there from noon until 2 doing a signing and meet and greet. So anybody comes in and buys the jackets or shirts or whatever, they get to see Tech as well. So shout out to Tech and Strange Music and the NFL and the Kansas City Chiefs for teaming up on this collaboration. They've never done that before. It's huge.
Heck yeah.
All right.
Go get y'all some merch.
Go get you some merch. All right, folks. So that's going to do it for us on week 13. We'll see what happens these next 5 games, what it can mean for the Chiefs in the playoffs coming up. So the Bills and the Chiefs this Sunday. Right now, we got the Bengals and the Jags going at it scoreless on this Monday night.
Get them.
You guys be safe, be well, take care of each other. Get the Christmas spirit, damn it. Stop eating cream of wheat. Get you some Captain Crunch. We'll see y'all next week. It's the Red Hour. Peace.
Peace.
The views and opinions expressed on the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundation, or affiliates.